Hi, I'm Steve. This is Fran. We're going to do luxury full line brands. So no True, none of those. Let's get into it. Pros and cons.
All right, let's jump right into the brands. Let's start first with Sub-Zero Wolf.
Family owned company, Wisconsin, American made. So it's a good feel good story. Great dual fuel ranges. Really good induction too. They just redesigned it with the red knobs or the black knobs or, you know, 3 different colors. But I like their induction a lot, although their 48-inch needs 100 amps. So that's not a direct replacement out there, if you know what I mean. Fridges, fantastic, any size. They don't make the large integrated ones, but in terms of food preservation, the vacuum seal, magnet crispers, keeping air out, the split climate, making sure airflow goes properly throughout the fridge. I really like this stuff. I actually have this stuff. I think their steam oven's underrated. Really good on the reheat. Just hit a button. A gourmet setting, you just hit a button, make it easy. And if you're watching this, consider a steam oven. I think this is probably as good as it gets. And if it isn't, then what else is?
Yeah.
The only caveat to me is they're all gas ranges. They made all the improvements in dual fuel induction. That's kind of where the business is headed. They're all gas ranges, I think, lack many features that the other brands do. But other than that, though, this is a line you should consider. What do you think?
Great guide in cooking on it, like you said, with the Wolf Gourmet on their wall ovens, dual fuel ranges, induction. Love the refrigeration as well, and really kind of probably one of the best, most reliable fridges out there. Where all these other brands, more integrated, like you said, but have gone to kind of that 4-door, 6-door style in the larger fridges.
Yes.
Sub-Zero kind of kept it classic with the 3-door, 2 doors up top, 1 drawer. And that seems to be playing really well too, because it kind of, with the compressor up top, still kind of keeps everything a little bit lower and not having to reach so high. So
it's 6'7" to reach some of the top of these fridges. When you put the compressor below, on above, it's 6 feet. So it matters. But here's the other thing, because we service what we sell, is they keep parts forever. I mean, we can legitimately get parts from, like, when I started in 1986. Seriously, we can get parts from when they're first made, and that is very unusual.
yes.
And especially, if you want to own this stuff for more than 10 years, it is a great brand for that too.
No question. What do you think for a ranking?
This is S for me.
All right, next one, Miele.
In terms of water, dishwashers and washers and dryers, although it's compact size only wash, best you can buy. Probably with the tariffs and everything, more expensive than it should be. And dishwashers, laundry, definitely the best. Steam oven, this oven, the new one, is just unbelievable. What you can do with this is, like, you can cook a whole meal so it comes out at the same exact time. It prompts you. You put in, it prompts you for, like, the protein, the starch, the vegetables, and then it beeps when you're supposed to put it in. So it comes out the exact same time. If you ever had a meal cooked with steam, it's phenomenal. And that's the best steam oven we sell right now. I haven't seen the new Gaggenau 400, but fantastic product there. Wall oven, steam assist, I mean, you're cooking in electric. Electric is dry, right? So adding steam adds complexion and flavor. It's also great for baking bread, and you get 17 different modes for that. That's probably the best. That's the best. Cooking equipment is the best. Pro range, you've got that moisture technology in the oven. I think they're gas ovens, so cleaning, it's easy to clean, gives you more that way. But the burner outputs aren't as heavy as they should be. In the back, they're just regular burners that you're cooking on. So that, and the refrigeration is the same refrigeration made in the same Turkish plant as Thermador, which is good, but it's not Sub-Zero good. So that's what I say. I think this is a great line, certainly stylistically, very easy to use. If you cook a certain way, this is a line you should consider. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a lot of really great points there. And like you said, the controls are awesome with their MasterChef, really easy to use. Really was one of the first ones that made it super easy to use there. The steam oven, also one of the largest steam ovens that's out there too, and they're XXL, so it's bigger than really most of the kind of shorter ones that you're gonna see out there. And the nice thing with that, because steam is so new to a lot of people, with those MasterChef controls, it definitely makes it so easy.
Hit a button.
Yeah, love the line. Like you said, refrigeration, definitely similar to what you're gonna see with other brands. But cooking, phenomenal. And even things like coffee maker, built-in coffee maker, best built-in coffee maker.
Cleans itself now.
Yeah, which is literally half the battle.
My sister makes a blueberry latte in her Miele coffee maker. It's spectacular. And it's the only coffee system that can do that. What do you think?
I'm gonna go A. I think with the refrigeration, I say it's okay. I like the rest of the line a lot. What do you think?
You know, everyone gives us a hard time because we gave all just B's and
I
C's in
saw that, yeah.
refrigerators. So I feel like more generous than I should be, but I would say A or S. S depending on what you're looking for. A because of the
Like an F
refrigeration.
minus.
I think the Pro range on the back could be a little bit more powerful. Other than that, though, this is a super line.
All right, next one. Let's go Viking.
Well, it depends on what year we're talking about because, you know, you were still like in what, junior high?
Yeah, I was gonna say this hasn't really been a huge brand since I've been in the business, but
When it first came out, this was the brand, period. More than Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero hadn't bought Wolf at that time. You know, their stove was one of the products. I've been at Yale for 40 years. Is one of the signature products that I've seen in 40 years. And I still think the range is pretty good. You know, you get the Tuscany series, the 7 series, the 5, the 3. It doesn't give you the guided cooking of a Wolf or a Miele, but the range is still good. You get the 17 colors, and they were smart enough to venture out to Benjamin Moore to get the really good colors, whatever those are. But other than that, though, they just split the company. They were bought by Middleby, and then Middleby split them off. Couldn't figure out what to do with them. The refrigerator's a mess. It's a nightmare.
that's yeah.
And the dishwasher's made by Beko with a $2,000 price tag on it. So in terms of a range, this is still a good range to consider. In terms of a suite, I would look elsewhere. For me, this is B or C at most, you know?
Yeah, not a brand that, again, don't have a ton of experience. I've never really sold it, but yeah, especially the ranges definitely seem look-wise with the Tuscany series especially. Nice design look with colors there, but yeah, refrigeration absolutely can be a problem. Let's jump right into the next one here, Thermador.
Very likable. Configurations galore. You know, they have the side swing options. The refrigeration, you either like it or you don't. I'm not really partial to it myself, but for an integrated look, it's very unique. And that's, you know, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for like, you know, the same as our neighbors. And I get that. Their Pro ranges are good. You know, they've the 2 different series. I like them both. I think there's better options depending on what you're looking for, but it's still a good Pro range. It's priced really well. You know, you get the 1, 2 free where you're getting their dishwasher and then you're getting your hood or whatever it is. Pro ranges, yes. Refrigeration, definitely if you're that type of customer. But in terms of guided cooking, better convection systems, technology, it's single convection that you can buy really in anything. I like the brand. I like the value. I don't think it's in the same league as a Sub-Zero Wolf or Miele, but it's not in the same price league either.
Yeah, and I think induction cooktops, they do a really good job with
Great
induction technology, the Freedom technology where you can place it anywhere. All gas ranges, I think, compare really well because they're a bit more basic, kind of just really throughout most brands. But yeah, once you jump into kind of dual fuels where you really lose a lot of features compared to a Wolf, a Miele, and really a lot of different brands there. They just don't have those smart features there.
You mentioned induction. I love their induction cooktops. You know, the Freedom, which is still state of the art, even though it was introduced like 12 years ago. Liberty is really good. It's the most reliable, you know, the most reliable induction products we saw. We serviced 33,190 total units last year. The most reliable were Thermador, Bosch, Gaggenau, all made in the same Spanish factory.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. You know, Thermador gives you the better technology. So if you're looking for an induction cooktop, that's an S right there. But in terms of the overall line, I would say B, you know, solid B.
Yeah.
Definitely consider it at a different price level, certainly.
And then speaking of BSH and those brands, let's stick with that. Let's jump into Gaggenau, which is definitely more on the luxury side.
Yeah, this is a really interesting product. I like they're just in the midst of changing to their format series. So they're making really what I think is the best products. They're making it more intuitive. So the knock against them is you can do anything with it, but you got to figure it out. Like they've got 19 cooking modes. So if you want to cook pastry, croissants, different subsets of anything, that's the oven to do it. You just got to figure it out. Now, most people that buy this stuff have already figured it out. Now, for other people, now they've got the guided cooking. You know, their steam oven's excellent. The cooking park's excellent. They don't have a Pro range, but it's on a Pro range line. Their built-ins are very nice. Only single oven. But this is the luxury line of BSH. Unique looking, intuitive, well-designed, well-manufactured, extremely reliable.
Yeah.
extremely reliable.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that new Expressive series, kind of color slightly different too, kind of a little bit of a darker stainless trim. We've seen the refrigeration that they've definitely upgraded a little bit too, with a really kind of nicer interior, kind of a platinum-ish, into not too dark, a little bit dark on the interior. It's a little lighter than kind of like an obsidian black for sure. So a little different there. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the new lines, and that is the big thing. It's just intuitive knobs, and that should be much easier. But
So what do you think?
I mean, it is. I think it's at least an A, I would say, with Gaggenau.
Depends what you're looking for. You're looking at
Exactly.
cookies. This is an S.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just from the product.
So we do an S or A, I think. Say A.
I say A only because they don't have full line of product
Yeah,
either.
no.
With gas
No
range,
pro
like no
ranges.
pro ranges, so it's a little bit more limited.
Okay.
All right, let's go to BlueStar.
This is either an S or a C, depending what you're looking for. You're looking for powerful, 25,000 BTU. Their induction cooktops get a 7,400 watt burner. You know how fast that boils water?
That's 3 minutes.
3 minutes for a gallon of water. It takes 13 minutes and 37 seconds for a 23,000 BTU
Crazy.
gas burner.
20% of the time.
3 minutes.
Yeah, unbelievable.
1,000 colors, 6 trims. If that's not good enough, you could send a paint chip and have it uniquely made to you. That's impressive. I like their fridges, although they don't make
Limited, yeah.
sense to me in a lot of ways. They don't have a 48.
Yeah.
They got some decent columns that they just came out with.
Not really panel ready, but you can do the custom colors and matching, obviously, but not really custom panels there.
And that's how most people buy this stuff. So don't have a dishwasher. Their pro ranges in gas, they're the only ones with them and SKS, the only one with pure convection. So it blows in from the rear. So if you're looking for gas, and a lot of people should, because you don't have to update your electrical to 50 amp or 100 amp or anything like that. So if you're replacing, that's good. You got a really good cooking system. They're proud of like not offering technology. So if you like technology, this is not a line for you. But if you want power and unique customization with color, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, and they definitely cater to the chef, and kind of being able to fit full-size commercial sheet pans in some of those refrigerators in the ranges as well, which is really unique to them as well. Definitely limited, like you said, on kind of the controls. They have some touchscreen controls and some of the newer ranges.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they're very simple.
It's not gonna guide you, it's gonna tell you.
Two-step, easy to use, not a lot of guided cooking there. The burners, like you said, even on their dual fuel range, the X8 sealed burner, kind of with like a star shape, similar to like a Thermador, but that's going to still give you that high power of 25,000 BTU. And then the same thing with the open burner and the all gas too. So super powerful.
What do you think?
I'll go with an A.
Definitely an A.
Yeah.
And depending what you're looking for, because their wall ovens aren't that good stylistically.
Fisher Paykel.
It's funny. A lot of builders like Fisher Paykel because it's unique. You get a lot of cooking modes. It's designed really, really well. We have that new display in Dorchester, really beautiful. They have new steam ovens. They got bigger capacity. They got bigger capacity wall ovens.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put these Fisher Paykel in the same league as a Sub-Zero Wolf Miele, but you're not spending that kind of money. You're getting a really rich look, very, very modern, but tasteful.
Yeah.
Their column refrigerators are good. That 36-inch bottom mount, which everybody used to buy, $10,000 versus 18 for most competitor products.
And that'll be coming in a French door soon, which is certainly the more popular configuration now. And in their ranges, they have a lot of different price points and styles too. They have kind of induction and gas ranges that are more 30 and 36-inch width, but more that European style, so sit more counter depth as well. So kind of smaller oven, but that kind of clean look. But they still give you that pro style oven up to a 48-inch, even a 48-inch full induction. And some unique features too, where they have the 48-inch pro range with half induction, half gas. So really a lot of kind of cool, unique products. 72-inch tall, fully integrated, panel ready refrigerator as well. So you can get that look in a shorter ceiling. If you don't have the height, or B, are looking to spend much less.
Or you're replacing.
Or replacing, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't suggest that it's the same as a Wolf. You don't go to a Fisher Paykel, but for the price and everything else, I think it's a solid A.
Absolutely.
For price, you would say S. For features, you would say B. So A seems to be pretty good.
Dacor.
I don't hate it. As
a
much
good
as
way
I
to
have to
start.
say it. I mean, I think that they have a modernist, interesting product. It's got steam assist. Some of the columns and some of the larger fridges are very interesting to me. You know, it's a Samsung company, and you know, it's family owned, and they were actually the first convection range sold in the United States. The Weldon, they had the first 30-inch wall oven too, but that was 40 years ago. I just don't think Samsung knows that they're not in the luxury market, and it's kind of stalled out. For me, I think there's better options elsewhere. However, you know, I do like the range and I do like the refrigerators. I'm not a big fan of the overall corporate company in terms of really much of anything else. I would say there's you know, if you're looking for a really unique looking range, this might be a good option for you. But for everything else, I think you got better options elsewhere.
Yeah, so then again, not a brand that we really sell or really have, so don't have a ton of experience there with that either. It's like, you know, it's funny because Samsung initially, when they kind of got it, they had started that Chef Collection series that Samsung had. They kind of removed the Chef Collection and it seemed like they put a lot of those features into the Dacor line. But yeah, it looks, what do you think?
You know, so I would say, you know, we don't sell it, so I don't want to, you know, I would say, you know, on any of these too, you got to check service in your area. Because there's one thing buying a really beautiful kitchen for your dream kitchen, not being able to get it repaired. And all the brands on this list may have problems in your area, so you may want to check that out. I'd give it a B just because I like the range and fridge.
All right, let's go to Monogram.
You know, we were the first Monogram dealer, and then we stopped selling GE for like 20 years. I really like this line. It's another line I'd say with Fisher Paykel and some of the less expensive lines. I wouldn't suggest that you go you know, if it's Wolf and Monogram, it's two totally different fridges. But you know, you're looking at a stove that's got 23,000 BT burners. You know, it's got a infrared grill, so it sears better. It's got a gas griddle that you can adjust the temperature and actually cook by recipe. The other ones don't have it. The Advantium is still great technology because it gives you the speed, and then you can crisp with the halogen bulbs. Can't do that with anybody's speed oven, even the premier ones we sell. The brass accents I actually kind of like.
Yeah, and I always say, like, designers love the line and the brand. It really is one.
There
Like,
it is right
yeah,
there.
so
You know,
absolutely, like,
is that it? That's a wood handle though, isn't it?
that's got the leather handle.
A leather.
Yeah. So an option. So really, kind of, they give you those brass touches, and when they first came out too, it's like they gave you those brass touches, but it wasn't in your face like some other brands that have tried to do that. So it's just kind of just under the radar brass accents that stand out, but really give you that nice design kind of forward thought too. And you can do certain things like the leather handles if you really kind of want to get different with it. So they do give you some options there.
Give you some
too.
options too, and I love the brass hood. I mean, I would consider a brass hood just if you buy something else and you want to put a really good statement piece in your kitchen. We have it in Dorchester. I love that piece, and I love the brass accents. And I think, you know, if you're more price conscious, you don't want to spend. I mean, all these companies, you know, unfortunately, prices have gone up so much. This is a good hedge for you to spend less money and still get really good value. Problem is that the configurations are limited, especially on the cooking side. But if you like it, yeah, I think this is a great line. For me, this is a, for the price, a solid A.
Okay, let's go with an A. And last one on the list here is SKS.
I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years if this is a top 3 luxury
Yeah,
brand.
agreed.
You know, their technology, it's almost like they said yes to everything and put it in a product, right? You know, the range has got, you know, the guided cooking of Wolf, where it even gives you the rack position, you know, time, temperature, rack position. You put in what you want to cook, how you want to cook. It gives you sous vide. It's the only one with sous vide in it. You have good induction. Their induction 36 gives you steam assist, gives you guided cooking, gives you a 7,000 watt induction burner.
Unbelievable.
7,000 watts. I don't think there's a more well-rounded induction range that we sell.
Absolutely.
You know, the fridges, if you like the Thermador with the 6 drawers, I think SKS is better. It's only 6 with 3 to the top, and they don't have that bump out.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think that's part of what makes kind of the Thermador lose some of that kind of usable capacity there, because you have the big controls there too.
They got the cubed ice. They got steam ovens that work.
You have the craft ice in that 48 inch
ice.
as well. Yeah. And they're going to be coming out with more sizes too. So right now they lack really a 42-inch kind of integrated refrigerator, but that will be coming out too at some point. They have some side-by-side options. So a little kind of sporadic in kind of what they offer, but they do have a lot of different sizing and refrigeration too.
Yeah, 42 is like the new 36. It's kind of like the standard, because remember, when you're going integrated or built-in, you're getting less cubic feet. So that's why a lot of people put drawers and separate drawers. But I love this line. If this is an S, this is an A. It's certainly very competitive. Now, for a lot of people, you want brands that you recognize, certainly in the builders and everything else, spec homes. So it doesn't give you that kind of brand prestige, but it gives you certainly the features, output, induction burners, refrigerators. You know, the dishwasher uses steam.
3-year full parts and labor warranty. They stand behind the product.
Yeah. So I really like mine. Yeah. What else we got? That it?
That's it. That's the last one.
That's enough. So if you like it, hit the subscribe. He's also on another channel, Appliance Advisors. This is kind of more broad information. He gets into like the specifics where he's like, you know, 2 things like Wolf versus Sub-Zero. No, I'm sorry, Wolf versus Miele or something like that. So if you're looking for more bite-sized nuggets, it's a great, great channel. And Dennis doesn't think like me. You get a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm balanced between the two.
Yeah, right. Thanks for watching.